What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. Today we are going to talk about Kevin Porter Jr. and his outburst in the Cavaliers locker room. We're going to rank the top 3 trade destinations that we believe should make a move to acquire his services. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, Nick. Well, it looks like Kevin Porter Jr. has done it again. And he's only been in the league for a year and a couple weeks. I mean, what are we really talking about here? So let's go through some of the top destinations we believe should make a move for him, whether it's through trade, whether it's that the Cavaliers cut him and he hits waivers, or if it's post waivers and they decide to sign him as an unrestricted free agent. Nick, why don't you start us off with your number 3 ranked team?
Yeah, so at number 3, I have the Phoenix Suns. And listen, there really aren't too many teams in general that should be trading for Kevin Porter Jr. right now. He's got some issues he needs to work out personally before any team is going to be secure enough to put him out on the court. But I think if any team is going to trade for him, number 3 would be the Phoenix Suns. And I believe that Kevin Porter Jr. would learn a ton from a leader and a veteran like Chris Paul. I believe that Chris Paul has taught so many young guys in this league through his time in multiple organizations how to be a leader, how to be a professional at this level. And I think that's exactly what Kevin Porter Jr. needs right now. And I believe that he could help this team as a bench player. In the second team, he will be a huge piece for them, a great 3-and-D role for them. He'll definitely help them down the stretch. They're in the Western Conference. They need all the depth they can possibly get. And this is a guy they can acquire for very cheap. So I think that Kevin Porter Jr. would definitely fit well with the Phoenix Suns.
For sure. I'll take your Suns and I'll raise you a Trailblazers.
Okay.
I believe that the Trailblazers are the number 2 team here. And I believe that with all of their depth, with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard and Carmelo Anthony and Yusuf Nurkic and so on and so forth, all of the names that they have on this roster, all of the veteran leadership that they have on this roster. You talk about it with Chris Paul. I'm naming about 4 or 5 guys here. I think they can all keep him under wraps, take him under his wing. He can do really well, help in spacing on the bench, and provide scoring for when both Lillard and McCollum get a chance to come off the floor. So I believe that he can definitely serve a purpose in Portland. Plus, getting out of Cleveland may not be the best, maybe the best thing to happen for him, especially if he's getting into a lot of trouble there. Maybe he needs to just have a change of scenery.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, Kevin Porter Jr. needs to be in a place where not only is he going to learn from veterans, he needs to be in a place where he's in a winning culture. He needs to know what that feels like because that changes a person's mentality. And I believe that he would thrive off of that. So I think the best possible destination for him would be the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, they've been a huge playoff team. They make such great pushes. And I believe that his ability to help them off the bench is exactly what they need right now. Pascal Siakam, he has been struggling ever since he left the bubble. I think that Siakam needs a reprieve, and that's exactly what Kevin Porter Jr. can offer them. Siakam offensively has been pretty much a nightmare, and I think Kevin Porter Jr. can help alleviate some of that pressure because he is a better offensive scorer. And Kevin Porter Jr. can help out on the defensive side of the ball. The Toronto Raptors are a very strong defensive team, so I think that his services would fit them well, and he would be able to learn from this team who works in that type of system. So I think the Toronto Raptors are definitely a team everybody should be watching out for.
Yeah, I mean the Raptors could absolutely utilize his services, and you know what? We talked about veteran leadership with the other two teams. Let's just talk about it here with Kyle Lowry and some of these guys that they have available. I think that would be an absolute dynamite destination for him. Plus, he gets to go to Canada where he's away from all of his problems. Well, sort of.
Sort
He's
of.
in Florida this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to comment on this video. It helps us out a ton. Subscribe to the channel if you like what we have to say. Make sure to hit that notification bell to be notified of any videos that we have. We go live every single day. Make sure not to miss any of them. That'll do it for now. Make sure to catch us later. Peace and love.